shit. Do I even have... Yeah, that should work. Welcome back to Mainville ATV and Outdoors. Today, we're doing something a little different. We are at Clavet Service in the town of Clavet, Saskatchewan. And they were nice enough to get us the shop space because as you can tell, this trailer is not small and it's not warm outside. So a huge opportunity for me to use up some of the space this weekend, and we're gonna get some work done on the trailer. This is sort of like phase 2 of my plan for the trailer. The first being to seal the floor, make it usable, E-track, that kind of thing. This one was more about getting a bench and some storage space, which we actually did about 2 weeks, more than that.
2 months?
2 months ago, looking at somebody off camera here. This is Drake. Drake is actually the one who organized all of this, so big thanks, dude. So we got the bench done in my driveway when it was warm enough, and at the time I actually ordered a pile of things and it just never arrived because of COVID and there was complications, but in the end we ended up getting what we were looking for. So we're going to show you the bench that we built and what we did this weekend that required the warm shop. So again, thanks Clavet Service. That's a massive, massive thing. I had a chance to get this done for sled season, so that's huge because we have some rides coming up that are going to be awesome. And we wanted to have a way to have a truck and trailer, 4 sleds, all of our gear, and get out to wherever we're going. So we're going to hop in the trailer and take a look and see what we got up to. 2 grease monkeys trying to pretend we can do other stuff too, but I think it turned out pretty good, so let's get to it. Okay, so with the help of Drake, we got all of this installed here this weekend. So what you're looking at is originally we painted the floor, and we used the floor and porch paint, and it was actually pretty good, fairly resilient, and it was doing the job. It did exactly what I was looking for, but I knew eventually I would have to go on top of that with something a little more serious because sled carbides, mud tires, the stuff that we're dragging into this trailer, it's not easy on the floor. So what I decided to do was I got a vinyl flooring, like a rubber mat from Home Depot. And I got the biggest one that I could, so you can tell it's not actually 8.5 feet wide like the interior of this trailer. So we trimmed it down on the inside of the E-track, kind of giving us a landing strip. And the idea here is the quads no problem fit back to back. If I wanted to put a side-by-side in here, it's no issue. Everything's going to be covered that way. But the biggest concern is the sleds. So we put in this, not E-track, this is, what do you call this stuff?
Grip glides.
Grip glides. See, it's good to have a guy off camera. These grip glides allow the sleds to come in to the best of our ability safely to the front of the sled, and then we just kind of lift it up to the side, and you can put 4 sleds in here. So that allows all the sleds, and then the front is open for all of the gear, and everything's safe from the carbides ripping everything up. To the best of our ability. I'm sure over time we're definitely gonna gouge it up, but so we got that mat down, we glued it down with an adhesive, and on top of that, we secured it with trim all along the edge. There's silicone to prevent as much water from getting into those seams. And then underneath the mat is all this vinyl adhesive that we had to like trowel around and get it nice, and we kind of squeegeed it with our hands along to really get it down pat. We put batteries down, we put everything Clavet Service had in the back we could, every die, dimple, weight, everything we could grab just to make sure it was stuck down to the best of the we could. We learned a few things. There is the odd air bubble, and that's mostly because the trailer construction, some of the seams weren't perfect or lifted underneath the mat. So some air did get trapped there, and I'm kind of hesitant to poke a hole to get the air out just because that actually allows water to go through it. I could silicone it and stuff, but I think I'll end up touching it up after this season. Very happy with how all of this turned out. So I think that's where we're going to end it with that, but we do have to check out the bench that we built not a couple weeks ago, apparently a couple months ago, because time flies. But we were only able to do all of this because we had this shop. It was the only way to do it because the adhesive and stuff like that, the rubber matting, it had to be worked in a minimum of +10. And when I ordered it, we would have been able to do it in my driveway, but winter in this province happened fast this year. So this bench was just to provide a solution for a lot of things that stay in this trailer. One of my plans is during sled season, this thing's ready for sledding, and during the ATV off-road season, it's ready for that. So at any given moment, this thing's like a go-to bag that you can just pick up and go with and then go on rides. So a lot of the times when I get invited to a ride, it's like out of nowhere, so I want to always be as ready as possible, maintain in the garage, then load the trailer and be done and wait. I ride a lot. Cass and I go out literally every chance we get. So this storage allowed us to have like helmets ready to go. There's a shelf in here, so I made that so we can put the helmets in. We have bags of tow straps, a little bit of quick access from the doorway, and then the cooler is underneath that. In here, which you can see my handy dandy door holder closer. Inside we have 2 bins, 2 totes, and we built the bench as big as we could to take advantage of the awkward V-nose. So there's plenty of space for like full totes. A lot of people probably recognize these. You can get them at like Canadian Tire, Home Depot, whatever. So in there you'll find like camping supplies, and another one is just basically empty for like bedding and stuff like that. So we can toss in if we want to go for a weekend trip or something like that. This side, we have a queen bed, blow-up bed. Another plan is to actually have a queen mattress in here available to put on top instead of the blow-up, because Cass and I end up right in the middle, all jiggity-janked. But we also have a tent in there. And we have a 10 by 10 outside canopy that actually goes outside the door, so when you come out you can have a place to cook and whatever. So that works out really well. As you can see, before we did all of this, phase 1 was like the electrical and the sealing of the paint and the E-track. You can see the electrical working right now. So we are ready for shore plugs, so 30 amp service, which is also our generator at 30 amp service, so we can run on generator, shore power, and we also have a 110 setup. So this panel can run off any of that, and if you want to see more about that, you can check out the previous video in the playlist for the trailer build. But you can see it working right now. We're in the shop. I just plugged in the trailer, and we obviously have lighting, so it made it a lot easier to do instead of setting up like a flashlight off something. So it's good to actually use that for the first time. So everything's kind of fleshing out as far as the trailer goes. Phase 3 is a little more intricate. It's a lot of the finer details, storage stuff, and whatever we realize wasn't planned for, that we didn't think of, because we're going to use this for like a season and realize like, oh, this would be nice, that would be nice, whatever, and that's kind of like the last phase of it. And at that point I'll just be done with the trailer. So a lot of this has been very interesting. It's not really my skill set. Drake and I have been joking about that. This is not something I've done before or been remotely close to. I've never built a bench. I've never, like, other than like a 4-post whatever in a garage, that's no big deal, but something with actual shelves and working doors and stuff, there was quite a bit to learn there. I've never laid down vinyl with an adhesive. The grip glide. Yeah, I'm going to keep you around just for that. Luckily I had Drake here. He knew how they work. He warned me that they do expand. So you actually mount them down with a gap, and when they expand and contract, they actually have to leave that space so they don't ripple up against each other, because you're going to go from hot, cold, hot, cold. So that is all laid down as the best of our ability, and then we came up with a width to try and accommodate as many different sled types as possible, because you can have a summit or you can have like a touring sled, something like that. You can go from 50 to 44 inches. So there's a wide variety of changes that way. So I think we nailed it on the head. We're going to find out. Maybe not. I have no idea. But I think this thing is battle ready for whatever we figure out we want to do. I'd like to go to the mountains. I don't know if the current pandemic is going to allow for that. It sounds like some borders in Canada are shutting down. But there's still going to be some local chances to get around and do some interesting sledding. So we can get a whole crew in here and get out. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Again, I'm not the expert, but I'm certainly trying, and that's phase 2 of our trailer build. So thanks again to Clavette Service for giving us a shop space. I can't stress that enough. We wouldn't have been able to get this done for the season. So that is absolutely massive. I'm really happy with the work we did. And of course, Drake helping us out. So we'll see you guys next time.